Hey everyone, it's AngelBlade13. Welcome back to my Kingdom Hearts Final Mix walkthrough. Take a quick look at our stats. Sora is at level 31. I have the Spellbinder Keyblade, and I've swapped out the Brave Warrior for the Ray of Light. I strongly suggest going with more of a magic setup for this next world. It's really going to help. So now we're going to go to the Battle Level 5 world. We have to warp back to Monstro, and we have to let him eat us again, and then we can head to that world. Before we head over, we'll just do some quick adjustments to our gummy ship. Let's see what we've got. So I'm going to put the Haste 2G over the Haste G, just to give myself a bit faster acceleration. No, this ship does not look very nice aesthetically, but it gets the job done, so here we go.
Come on, Sebastian!
Ariel, wait! Slow down! Don't leave me behind!
Oh, relax, Sebastian. They don't look like one of them. Right, Flounder?
I don't know. There's something weird about them.
What do you mean?
They do seem a little different. Where are you from?
We're from kind of far away. And we're not really used to these waters,
Oh, I see. In that case, Sebastian can show you how we swim around here.
Ariel! King Triton will not like this!
Oh, don't worry.
So we have to get used to swimming underwater. Most of the movement is pretty much the same. Using the square button will let us move down, and the circle button will let us move up. If we're locked onto something, then just moving the analog stick typically brings us to about that character or target's level. The controls will be a little bit weird to get used to. We're not going to be able to use things like dodge roll or a lot of our other abilities here, so magic's going to come in handy a lot.
Good job! Now let's move on to safe defense!
Sebastian!
Eh? Class is over! Good luck!
Alright, so we've got Ariel in the party. I'm gonna switch her in for Goofy. Magic will be pretty helpful here. As usual, let's first just take all of her items and put them in our stock. Maybe we'll give her some later. And I'll restock Sora with some items, give some more ethers. And I'm going to give Ariel the Brave Warrior. Her strength is gonna come in handy a good deal too. And let's take a quick look at her abilities. Spiral Wave lets her sort of do a drilling attack into a target. Thunder, Cure, and Arrow potions are all really the same as the spell versions that you have. And I suggest removing her Thunder ability for the time being, and try to avoid using it yourself. Throughout these rooms, you're going to be seeing tridents on the wall that point in a certain direction. If you just want to advance the story, then you can just follow those, and that'll bring you to the next area. The first enemies here are called Sea Neons. They're basically just jellyfish, heartless. They don't have a lot of crazy attacks, so you don't need to really worry too much. Don't use Thunder on them, they will absorb it, but your physical attacks work pretty well. You can use Fire for individual ones and Blizzard for groups.
Deep freeze! Fire! See ya! Come on!
Now, we've seen a couple different shells in this area. The clear ones, they can be opened with a physical attack. The red ones, you want to use a fire spell on them. One of the nice things about this world is that since we're not limited vertically as much as we are in other worlds, we can pretty much get every item in each room the first time we go in there, so we don't have to come back here as often with extra abilities. So, you see the current is very strong, we cannot swim against it, so just make sure you point yourself towards this alcove as you swim in there.
Fire!
So once you've dealt with those enemies, you can use a fire spell on the sea urchin there to make a shortcut back to the previous room. So here's a setup for one of the special enemies. When you see 3 white mushrooms that are frozen in place and only do that one, then it means this special enemy is showing up. You have to use whatever level of stop you have on each of them. You can hit them a few times afterwards to build up your MP. And then find the third one. Use it. And once you've done it to all 3 of them, then the special enemy will show up. So here's the enemy, the pink Agaricus. I'm probably saying that wrong. The idea is to use stop on it and then hit it as many times as you can. You get a bunch of tech points, and if you hit enough times, it'll sometimes drop items. I can't really do the full mini game for it with the abilities I have now, and it's not really great to do in Atlantica in general. You can also find that enemy in Deep Jungle, which I'll be covering how to do in the sort of end game portion of this walkthrough.
Deep freeze!
For a blue shell like this, you want to use the Blizzard spell instead. Probably seeing a bit of a theme here.
See ya! Deep freeze! Deep freeze!
And here's a new enemy. These are the screwdrivers. They have some basic melee attacks with their tridents. They can also sort of dart at you from across the screen, so just be careful of that. Fire and Blizzard are pretty good against them, as well as your physical attacks. Don't use Thunder, they will also absorb it. And finally we have a yellow shell, so you want to use Thunder to open that one.
Deep freeze!
That was too close. As long as I have my Trident, I will not tolerate those creatures inside this palace.
Daddy?
Oh, Ariel! When will you listen? It's dangerous out there! Strange creatures lurk outside.
Behold! You swim before the ruler of the seas! His Majesty, King Triton!
And who are they?
They helped us fight off those creatures.
They don't look familiar.
We're from an ocean very far away.
Yup, we came to find the keyhole.
The what?
What's that?
Well, it's a...
There's no such thing, certainly not here.
But Daddy...
Ariel, not another word. You are not to leave the palace. Is that clear? Perhaps I'm being too strict. I'm just concerned for her safety.
Of course, Your Majesty. But I must admit, now I'm quite curious about this keyhole.
That need not concern you, Sebastian. Have you anything to report?
Just as you suspected, Your Majesty, they seem to be coming from Ursula's Grotto.
I knew it! That sea witch is up to no good again! A sea exile from the palace has taught her nothing.
Yes, she poses serious danger.
And I told you to keep Ariel away from such danger, did I not?
Your Majesty, please,
King Triton seems to know a bit more than most of the other world inhabitants seem to. That's White Trinity. That's the only one in this world, so just remember its location. We'll be coming back later. So the enemy here is a sheltering zone. It's a giant version of the sea neons. It does all the same things, but it has more health, and if you defeat it with a physical attack, it will split into multiple sea neons, so try to defeat it with magic. Next, you want to ride on this dolphin. Just interact with it by getting close to it. It won't take you really anywhere. It'll just go around this room, but we need to ride it for later. So we've got a couple items in this room. Lock onto the chest if you're having trouble finding them. There we've got another torn page, so we know one thing we can do when we finish this world. One thing to ease the dog lovers. There are no puppies in this world because they would kind of drown. So yeah.
Why would you say that?
Those impudent fools will never find the keyhole. But the girl could prove useful, and I've got the Heartless on my side. Triton, my old friend. Your day is coming.
Alright, we've got some looking around to do. We've done the ride on the dolphin, so we're going to head back to the first big area that we got to. There should be enemies back in this room now, so clear them out. If you rode the dolphin in the previous area, then it will show up in here. So here we have to ride it, and now it's actually going to take us to the next area. This is the only way we can get through this strong current at the moment, so we can go into the sunken ship room. So that chest right there is what we want to get. There's a couple different things we can get at the moment too. And if you come back here later, this is a good spot for getting white mushrooms and getting the stop arts. So now that you've gotten those two items, let's go examine that chest. Doubt anything too crazy will happen. Alright, so I'm gonna go into my stock and just give myself a cottage. And I'm gonna use the defense up from earlier. The shark is outside, so let's fight him. We actually don't have to do this fight now, but it'll get you some experience, and it can get you some items. So you can use stop and just kind of let everyone wail on him. That's one quick way to take care of it. However you want to do it. He can do some decent damage. His hitboxes are a bit weird. Sometimes he doesn't immediately get defeated on his last hit point for some reason. But there, he gave me a few items, so it's worth doing. So we have the Crystal Trident. We want to go back to Ariel's Grotto. You can go back the way you came, or you can go this way, and you can actually set up a shortcut. And then you want to open this chest for a special item.
Ariel, you've disobeyed me again. I told you not to leave the palace.
Daddy, no! How could you?
Young man, you're not from another ocean. You're from another world, aren't you?
Huh?
Then you must be the key bearer.
How did you know?
You may fool Ariel, but you can't fool me. You don't know your dorsal fin from your tail. As the key-bearer, you must already know one must not meddle in the affairs of other worlds.
Of course I know that, but...
You have violated this principle. The key-bearer shatters peace and brings ruin.
Oh, Sora's not like that.
I thank you for saving my daughter, but there is no room in my ocean for you or your key.
My, the poor child suffers such deep sorrow. What a pity. If only there was something we could do. Wait, maybe she can be of some help. Yes, maybe she can be of some help to you.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, she would surely help you. She'd make all your dreams come true. Ursula can help.
You called, my dear?
You're Ursula. Well, I was just wondering if...
It's all right. Helping others is what I live for. Let me guess. You wish to see other worlds. That shouldn't be too hard. After all, your new friends came from another world.
What?
But they had special help. That mysterious key. Now, cheer up, sweetie. You have something special, too.
Huh?
Now listen carefully.
Well, all that seemed pretty bad. I guess we should head back to see King Triton.
I think the keyhole they seek is somewhere in the palace. Now, my dear, if you can take me there without your daddy knowing, I can help you get to these other worlds you long for.
Here's another new enemy, the Aqua Tank. They will show up with a group of 3 screwdrivers attached to them. They can do some pretty heavy physical damage to you. Using Stopra against them is very effective, and you can usually take them out with physical attacks before Stopra runs out.
The Trident is mine at last, and I couldn't have done it without your help, my dear.
Ursula, no! I didn't want this!
Why not? Aren't you tired of following your dear daddy's orders? Oh, yes. We had a deal, didn't we? Time for a little journey to the dark world of the Heartless.
We cannot find the keyhole. The keyhole is not here.
What? Why, we have company. I'm afraid you're a little late, handsome.
Daddy!
The Trident. We must get it back.
Come on, let's go!
Wait. I'm going with you. My father is hurt and it's all my fault. I have to stop Ursula.
That's right. I'm right behind you, Ariel.
So before we move on, we obviously just want to use the save point to get all our stuff back. So we're going to be heading back to the sunken ship area, and that'll let us move on. And we've got that nice little shortcut we set up before, so we can just go straight back here. We don't have to go back and use the dolphin. The shark is going to be here again. This time you have to defeat it in case you didn't do it before. Even if you did beat it, you just have to do it again. Do all the same stuff, it's not too difficult. Just be careful, he can do some decent physical damage to you, but using Stopra makes it pretty easy. Now we can examine this sort of plaque on the wall, and Sebastian will activate it for us. And we can head to a new area. If you just want to head to the boss, then go forward, take a left at the split, and you can move to the next area. I suggest first going to the right and going into the Cavern Nook area. There is one shell with a Mega Ether and one shell with a save point. So, use that if you want, and then we'll just head back. This time we'll take the left. So the boss is in the next room. Let's just quickly check our abilities. Here I'm actually going to adjust Ariel a bit. She's not going to need Lucky Strike. I'm going to take Spiral Wave off and put on Thunder Potion. And then just check everyone's items. Make sure you have a couple potions and ethers. Fire should definitely be in your shortcuts menu. And Arrow or Stopra are good secondary choices.
Your time has come!
So you were given a slight hint on how to deal with Ursula in that her cauldron holds the key to her magic. You just want to lock onto the cauldron and spam fire on it. Then this will stun her, and what I'm doing is just 1, 2, 3 combos without using a finisher, so I can keep her sort of stuck here. Eventually, the damage amount is going to go down a good deal, as you see, and she'll recover. She'll now start this spinning attack. She's sort of invincible during it, so just dodge her for as long as you can. Hit Flotsam and Jetsam if you need to, recover some MP, or if they're just annoying you. When she stops spinning, you can go back to just spamming fire on the cauldron, and then do this 1, 2, 3 combo on her. The reason I'm able to do the 1, 2, 3 without the finisher is because I have the Combo Plus ability equipped. You may or may not have that based on which weapon you chose at the start of the game. If you don't have a Combo Plus equipped, then you can just do a 1-2 on her, and just keep doing that until she breaks out. If your stats are about the same as mine are right now, then this should take you 3 times of just spamming fire on the cauldron. After you do it the 3rd time, then that should finish her off. And we got another shared ability, Mermaid Kick. It lets us swim much faster, and that's really only going to be useful in this world for one thing we have to do. Before we move on, we can just go back into Ursula's lair quickly. If we use a fire spell on that sea urchin right there, then we get this extra chest with another mithril, so we can advance. And we're about to do the final boss of this world, so check your items as always. You want a good deal of potions and ethers. For Ariel, I'm going to take off her Thunder Potion and make sure she has Spiral Wave equipped. Her other abilities won't really be needed, so I don't need to change that much else. I'm gonna use a cottage, bring everyone back to full health and MP. And I actually am gonna give Ariel some Mega Ethers and 1 Mega Potion. By holding the circle button, I can use Mermaid Kick to push against the current, and I can get to this next area.
You pathetic fools! I rule the seas now! The sea and all its spoils bow to my power!
So now we have Giant Ursula. This is a pretty annoying fight, to be honest. Throughout most of it, she's going to just cast these thunder spells right above your head, so you have about a second to get out of the way of it. You honestly want to avoid casting Arrow because that will increase the amount of thunder damage she does to you. So far we've seen a few other attacks she has. One is spitting a bunch of bubbles at you that explode. One is this sort of laser attack that she'll do for a bit. You can just float up above her and just attack her head from the side while she's doing it. You can also see that Stop is surprisingly effective against her, so make use of that. The other attack she has is this move where she sort of sucks you in and tries to bite you. If you're in the direct path of it, then just use Mermaid Kick and you should avoid her bite. Otherwise, just go to the side and keep attacking her head. Once you get her to about half health, she'll do a bit more of a charged version of her lightning attack, which covers a much bigger area. You have enough time to just swim out of the way of it with Mermaid Kick, so make use of that and then just keep doing your best to avoid her attacks. Use Stop to get a few extra hits in. This fight's gonna take a while. Gonna be honest, this is probably my least favorite fight in the game. Alright, so I'm going to show a much more efficient way to do that, because it takes a decent amount of time if you don't do it. I'm actually going to stock all these items and rearrange them in a certain way. I'm going to give Sora 2 ethers and 3 elixirs in that order. And I'm going to give Ariel 2 mega ethers and a mega potion. For her, the order doesn't matter as much. I'm going to make sure that she has the Thunder Potion unequipped and Spiral Wave back on. You can take Arrow Potion off if you want, but it's not as necessary. And make sure that you have Stopra and Cure in your shortcuts for Sora. For Ariel, make sure special attacks are set to constantly and MP items are set to immediately. And heal up as you need to, and then just head in when you're ready. So right at the start, I'm going to use a stop spell, then I'm going to do a 1, 2, 3 stop, and I'm going to be mashing triangle as I do this to get Ariel to use her Spiral Wave. When I'm low on MP, I'm going to use an Ether, and Ariel should use her Mega Ether, which should help bring you back close to full MP, and you can keep her in this loop. Now, I've used my Ethers, so I'm going to be switching to Elixirs now. And you want to do this as quick as you can. So see, I've gotten her health pretty low already, and I've taken no damage yet. Generally, the way I do it is, as Sora starts the animation for stop is when I hit the triangle button. And then again, pop the elixir when you run out. And I am down to no items left, so I do have to be a bit more careful. Now that I have 1 MP left, I'm just gonna stick with regular attacks. And see, now she's almost completely out of her last HP bar, and I'm in pretty good shape. This ending part can still be a bit repetitive and annoying, but I got through this fight a lot faster. And just use a fire spell to finish her off. I hate this fight, honestly. So we're not completely done yet. We still have to go back to Ariel's Grotto to seal the keyhole. Since we did beat the boss, there are no enemies for the time being, so we have a nice, easy path back.
Tell me, Sora, your world, what's it like?
Oh, about that. Sorry for lying to you.
It's okay. Besides, if you can travel to other worlds, maybe I can too. So many places I want to see. I know I'll get there someday. I'll find a way, somehow. I'm sure of it.
Well, if you find it, do me a favor and leave me out of it.
And we have to just head back to a save point now, so we can leave. So, there we go. If you gave Ariel the Brave Warrior or anything, make sure you unequip it, and then you can head out. So, we got a torn page earlier, so gotta head back to Traverse Town. First, we're gonna check the item shop and get some new weapons for Donald and Goofy. What do we have? This time, I'm gonna get Donald the Magic Staff, and I'm going to give Goofy the Golem Shield. My choices are going to make sense. First, we'll give Sora the Crab Claw. And let's put Thundara on. Now that Thunder got upgraded, that's going to be pretty helpful. And I'm just going to spend a bit of time looking through abilities, seeing what I may want to put on people for now. It'll be fine. Sora did get the strike rate ability from the last tournament, which I didn't get to show off, but I also got the Blitz ability, which is a finishing attack for his combos. So I can hopefully show a few things off in this next area. With a big group, one cast of Thundara took almost everything out. Let's do it again. Got everything this time. And let's show off Strike Raid. Strike Raid lets me hurl the Keyblade at enemies. With Raid, it lets me do a couple follow-ups, and eventually I get Judgment as the finishing attack. So here's the next section of 100 Acre Woods. So let's go over and talk with Tigger and Roo. So we have to do this minigame first. We just have to jump across these stumps in the same order that Tigger and Roo go to them, and then just land on that ledge. Your high jump is going to be disabled for this, so just be careful with your jump. Do a Keyblade swing if you need to get a bit of extra reach. If you fall, then you'll have to do that pattern over again. So just watch carefully what they do, and just mimic it exactly, and you'll move on to the next stage. Next, we want to talk with Rue to move on to the main reason that we're here. So they're gonna throw these nuts at you, and your goal is to just hit them back towards that pot. The higher you can hit the nut, then the more points you'll get. You can technically do this in one attack if you time it perfectly. Using a longer keyblade is helpful, but whatever. As long as you finish it in 30 seconds, you'll get the extra prize a little bit later, and there's an AP up in that chest in the stump. Now, we can leave, but there's actually a lot of items we can get from here. So, now I'm gonna go up that way, found a rare nut, and then I'm gonna go back and talk with Owl, and he's gonna give me a power-up. Very helpful. And we're gonna be gradually finding a bunch of these rare nuts, and we have to go back to Owl each time for the particular prize. Talking to Tigger will bring him and Rue over to the seesaw, which will let you get access to a bunch of other items. Standing on that stump raises this one up, and that gives us another rare nut. So Tigger and Rue will both launch you to different areas that'll let you get different sets of items. So just, you can follow along with the way I do this, or just sort of explore on your own for a bit, but I'll be getting each of them. Sometimes you will have to either jump or do a dodge roll into the rare nut that you're trying to get for you to actually pick it up. The collision is occasionally kind of weird with it, so just keep that in mind. Here's an extra item that I forgot to do in the initial recording. So back at the area where Rue launches you to, just sort of drop down that way and you get a dark matter. And that should be everything, so we can leave. And we get another mithril. Alright, so wrapping up, so let's check our journal. We now have the story section for Atlantica. Got another Ansem report. Let's look at the character section. And there we have Ursula. And we can look at Flotsam and Jetsam too. They were technically bosses as well. And we're at 57 puppies. Fortunately, there were not any in that world, as I mentioned. We didn't get any new Trinities, but we'll be getting some soon. Mini games, we have the Tigger's Giant Pot section. So we're all set. And that's going to be it for this episode. thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a comment, and share with a friend. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks again. Bye.